So far, we've had one sprint, and there's one man that's looked head and shoulders above everyone else. Today is a different day. We're going to have another sprint on our hands, and Tim Merlier so far this season has shown he is dominant, he's powerful, he's strong. And for me, he looks almost unbeatable, Dan.
He's certainly the man to beat at this race as things stand, isn't he? Because he's got all the ingredients needed to win the sprint. That doesn't just mean the power over the last 15 seconds. It means the awareness around it. In this shot in red, you see him look once, twice over to the side. Doesn't take more than a split second to decide, I've got to go now, otherwise I'm not going to win this race. Big gap to close on Milano and Gaviria, as you could see, but with the form that he's got and with the confidence he's got, he took it fairly easily by the line. What you will see is Arvid Decline coming up very quickly, and that was probably a moment's hesitation too much on his part to react to Tim Merlier's sprint.
Exactly that. Now, for the other riders in the peloton, they're probably thinking, how can I beat Tim Merlier in this situation? If you lined them up one-on-one, Tim Merlier would probably be one of the fastest, but that's not the case. As we know within bunch sprints, it's all about the lead out and it's all about the timing of those lead outs. If we look at this clip here, this shows a great example of things that you can do wrong. Now, Bora Hansgrohe on the front here, you can see them on the right-hand side. They, for me, had the best lead out situation. That little nod there from Ryan Mullen, you can see him backing off just ever so slightly. This gives the opportunity for other teams to move up. Just backing off that 1 or 2 k's an hour allows teams, as you can see, Bahrain moving past them, boxing them in on the right-hand side. Then you've got Tudor Pro Cycling coming over the top as well. You have to remember in this position, it's not the rider on the front in your team that's the most important one. It's Welsford, and he's fourth back in that situation. From that ease off in speed there, it's just allowed people to start coming over the top, other teams to move up, give them a little bit of a breather as well. And for Tim Merlier, this is perfect, because he's just tucked in right on the back. But for me, if Bora in this situation, Dan, just held that speed high, they wouldn't have been in a situation they are now, where if you look right on the right-hand side, Sam Welsford, probably about 15th, 16th position now. That's extra effort he's got to make to stay at the front.
And just pinned there. You know, the risk, there's always a balance, isn't there, with leading out a sprint. You don't want to hit the front too early, run out of riders and leave them with less speed and less momentum than those behind. But at the same time, if you do throttle back like they did there, wanting to take advantage of other teams, the risk is that you get pinned up against the barriers or the curb on the right-hand side of the road or whatever, and it makes it incredibly difficult for you to find space again.
Yeah, and with all the lead-out teams here, everyone's trying to do the same thing, and it's about benefiting off other teams as well. So you need to make sure you're planning your sprint, where you're going to be at the front. And if we look at Tour Down Under, Bora, once again, we highlighted them just now. We're going to highlight them again because they did the perfect lead-out. This was stage 3 in the Tour Down Under. You can see Bora at the minute, they're 2 riders back, and they've still got 2 riders in position. Danny Van Poppel has 1 rider in front of him. He's just moved past him, but Van Poppel, being the great lead-out man that he is, arguably one of the best at the minute, he's shouting, giving instruction, and look at that, straight across to the right-hand side of the road. Sorry, yeah, their right-hand side of the road. And Welsford at this point has just got it easy, all the way down to the finish. Doesn't have to worry about other riders around him because they're in that front position, they're holding it. So for me today, it is generally all about just not worrying about what other sprinters are doing, getting your lead out in the right position and holding on to that, not backing off at any certain moment, because once you can hold that front position, it's ultimately so much easier, as we can see on this clip. So, yeah, I'd say nail the lead out.
Yeah, and I think Bora Hansgrohe, they'll still be full of confidence. They rode so well at the Tour Down Under, leading out Sam Welsford. Yes, they got things slightly wrong on stage 1 of this race, but they'll have looked back at that, they'll have analysed it and decided what they did wrong and hope to make things better today.